effect, we got like about 25, 26 episodes deep into this elite extravaganza. Trying to get out of trying to make a slow segue out of all the negative part of it, the doom and gloom part, dealing with the movie and all that. But I'm gonna touch on that a little bit more, man. Then we're gonna try to finish this. This probably do about 1 or 2 more videos after this one and get more into try to have get to more of a fun aspect of it. But I thought it was imperative that we deal with that. But and maybe I can end that off with this. Who knows? I got a few more things I want to touch on with that, but I don't want to harp on that, on the negative part, I don't want to say the bad part or whatever, but show y'all something I found that was interesting. You can agree or disagree with this, or you can agree or disagree with this, but show you what Valentine's Day really is. Okay, when you look at the word, it's spelled Valentine, right? Valentine's. Okay. It's good to do things like when you're looking at these words, when you're studying, you come across certain words for whatever reasons, or you may choose to, or something that might stick out to you, a word, or you're trying to figure out the origin of something or whatever. It's good to do numerology with the words, alphanumeric, deal with the alphanumeric aspect of these different terminologies, and as well as switch out vowels. Because by switching out vowels, you can, I found out a lot about words. I remember my enlightenment once told me words are worlds. He said words are worlds within themselves. That's why they're so close in spelling. The difference between a word and world is only difference between a word and a world is the letter L. So now let's start with Vale. That's valley, veil. Now that within itself, one second. Where am I going? Let's pause this real quick. All right, Veil. Vicky Vale. Now, this just came to me right here, right now. In commission speaking to y'all. Veil. A veil. When you're dealing with ISIS, one of the sayings of ISIS is, "I am ISIS, and no mortal man has lifted my veil." Now, when I was when I first came in, I first saw that in Secret Teachers of All Ages by Manly P. Hall, and I lifted the veil in that same setting. I remember telling my boy Magnificent, man, I lifted the veil of ISIS. I lifted the veil of ISIS, bro. Woo. And basically, lifting the veil is just basically, the veil will be the physical aspect of life. There's a spiritual, OCCULT, occult, which means hidden, which means hidden knowledge. There's a hidden aspect to everything we see on the physical, because the physical is a reflection of the unseen. The seen is a reflection of the unseen. So to lift the veil would basically be to learn how to deal with information beyond the physical. Because the earth would be ISIS, or the physical universe would be ISIS. And physical world would be ISIS. So that would be the feminine aspect of it. To lift the veil would be to discover the what makes the physical tick or move or activates the physical, which is the masculine energy, or to find out to decode the symbolic aspect of, or lifting the veil would be to take a symbol. Once you figure out what that symbol means on one level or another, because one symbol could have many different meanings. That would be lifting the veil of Isis. So when I told him I lifted the veil of Isis, basically what I was telling him was, I see basically telling him I learned that the most important part of dealing with symbolism or lifting the veil of Isis would be to decode symbols or whatever. This would be this just came to me right now. The veil. This would be the veil. What I tell you happens when once these seven spirits of light come up here and formulate Ra, or the sun. See, Bobby them had it wrong. He thought APAP, overthrowing APAP was a negative thing. No, APAP represents everything that we've been going against. You know, negation or the denial of things needed to live, drought, hunger, evil in the sense of not in the real version of just the common, with how it's commonly viewed, how the term is commonly viewed. But it's the darkness, the veil. These are the shields or the shield. Each one of those chakras. When you're dealing with a block, when you open up your chakra system, you're basically opening up a blockage or lifting a veil off so that your Kundalini energy can pass through them freely and come to the top. And once it hits that pineal gland, it's like cutting a light switch on. Once it hits that, it brings the rest of the light that's hitting the rest of the melanin within your body online, just giving you that auric glow. But this would be the veil. And it actually lifts when the sun comes right here. Boom, it's like pushing a button. Sun comes right here. Boom. It fixates with right here where everything, just the starting point of everything in existence. And then it starts to lift up. And the shell, or the shield, that's shell, and in Hebrew they call it the shields, which would be your physical body, your physical shell. The shell, the shield lifts as when the sun lands right here and this starts to lift up. Each chakra that comes through this right here, while the earth's in commission of lifting up, the shell blows off of it, and a stream of light shoots off into its orbit. That's what the planets really are. Those seven. It's basically seven orbs out there, including the Earth. But the only difference between the third chakra, the voice box chakra, or the throat chakra, which is relevant because Baby Girl is a singer. Her voice is angelic. That's one thing that hit me. We already knew her singing voice would, but even when I told y'all, when I was watching, before I got locked up, when I was watching the Romeo joint, that's how she made a connection with me when she was like, she was talking to Jet Li. His name was Han in the movie. She said hun. When she said hun, the way she said it, for some reason, and I knew this. Mind you, this is me pre all these books, or before all these books. Around the same time, we had just got them books from the guy, maybe a little bit before, a little bit after. Like I said, my homeboy, we was selling grass, and one of his clients one of the people that used to come get grass from him brought him the books or whatever. But when she said that, I was like, for some reason, it resonated with me. And I know why, but that's a whole nother story. But her voice, that voice box. Another interesting thing too. I had to do the math on it, but what's this? The fifth. Yeah. But a couple of days ago, we were in this chakra right here, where the sun, the earth, was in a position where this, the voice box chakra was lined up with the sun. And of course, it's not like this, straight like this. It'll be from some type of angle. But, which is interesting because baby girl dedicated or attributed a lot of money to, or gave a lot of money to, she donated a lot of money. She was known for donating a lot of money to cancer research, and that's a scam. The whole cancer thing or whatever, that's a scam. But because you can't, where's all this money going? We had to really start thinking about. Now I'm not saying because pink is a healing color. I'm not saying the pink bow or the pink ribbon thing or even you have to even look at the word cancer. What they do is they take words. What I've been noticing, a pattern that they have is to take words that actually have a reference to something divine, and by us being brought up in this wilderness of North America and being cut out from our original culture, we don't know these things. So they'll have us referring to a disease by a name that is actually something that is divine, like cancer. In this case, the mother. And I want to dedicate this part right here to my baby girl who passed from cancer. Really was the chemo. That's why I say the best thing to do is try to stay away from them doctors, man. I know there's a lot of registered nurses out there doing their thing. I'm not saying we need to do away with the hospitals altogether because they serve a certain purpose. But there is a aspect of that where they're killing us, and they diagnosing us with stuff, but really ain't saying that's the cause of the death or the sicknesses. But actually, it's a reverse psychology game. They're giving you the medicine that they're giving you is what's killing you. So they'll tell you it might not even be nothing wrong with you. You might just need to stop eating salt or lay off the salt or something, or woo. And they'll tell you, well, you got this, that, and that. You ever notice how these new these commercials where they selling that these trying to push those Zyflon and pneumonia. They just come up with anything. I heard that shit the other day. They say, you may have cock pneumonia. I said, who cock got pneumonia? Not mine. You see what I'm saying? It was like, you may have cock pneumonia. Oh, no, my cock is cool. No cock pneumonia here. No cock pneumonia. No cock pneumonia. And pretty much, man, the body can be healed through, like I say, the doctors are just pretty much, the hospitals are pretty much as good for catching you before you bleed out and, from some type of wound or something, man. But when you get deep into the thing and, well, you got this and we got to give you that, that's why you hear it. That's why it should be changed. They be giving you one thing, you get that one day, be like, well, this is not working, so we got to switch to, that motherfucker, well, if the shit you give me is not working for the disease that you diagnosed me for, how did you even come to the conclusion that it was going to work in the beginning? So we have to start thinking. And you know this to be true because when you look at these medicines that they pushing on, and what you see them everywhere now, but at all times now. But I remember when they first really started pushing these weird medicines, it's usually they usually put it like around times where old people are at home looking at stuff like the stories and stuff like that. You don't necessarily see too many of them commercials doing primetime TV. But now you do. I remember in the beginning when they first started pushing that shit heavy, it'll be more so around the time where, you know, retired people be at home or watching, you know, anywhere like before the kids get out of school or whatever. So and then chemotherapy is just death, period, because they're claiming that this is supposed to kill the cancer, but it's actually frying your organs or whatever. So but I want to shout out to my homegirl Tangy, who made the transition about 10, 11 years ago. And she came through the other day. She died of cancer. And before she left, her voice went out. Her voice box, she was dumb. Not dumb, stupid dumb, but dumb. She couldn't speak no more because whatever they was doing to her fucked her voice up. Man, she came through the other day, man. Told me to tell y'all this. All in the because and I gotta redo I did the breakdown because the sun stays in we did it with the 10 week. We gotta go back to the 10 week. So many words. Break it down real quick. The sun stays right here, and it takes 10 days to go from here to the point where it'll be on this side lining straight up with that chakra. And then 10 days from here to there'll be another 10 days. From here to there'll be another 10 days. So all this came to me during the 10 days of the voice box chakra. That's how I knew it was real. She came through. And then after she came through is when I found out Aaliyah was dedicating, was donating a lot of bread to the Cancer Society. So that thing there. But these niggas are like peas in a pod. That's that 90s girl energy is just something different. Her and Aaliyah, they like this. Aaliyah was quoted saying she could never she ended up getting more into her girly side. And that's how I know it's real, because even the chicks that I dealt with who was tomboyish, it took them a minute to grow into wearing dresses and stuff. But she the same way. I ain't never seen this nigga in no dress. Really, I don't think I ever seen this nigga even dress. I think I got one picture of her. I don't think I ever seen her just dressed fully girly. You go look at my Instagram picture, you see her with the flannel on, with the flannel, with the cholo style, with the flannel right here, button right here, and open like the cape. And so she always, same thing with baby girl, she always been, that 90s girl energy was just different, man. But that's because we still, over these years, it became an imbalance with when you look at this entertainment, when the girls with entertainment, you still have some of that in there, but it's more so, it's an extreme now. So instead of baby girl type of energy, was a balance of the tomboy stuff, it's more so of you either girly or you a straight up stud. Remember, like I say, I'm from an era where girls, that was an imbalance too, but girls you hear more of girls saying they don't like other girls, or it was hard, they don't get along with other women and stuff. And it went from that to now, the one extreme is worse than the other, just as bad as the other one. So we went from that extreme to now they can't get enough of each other, and they like to fuck and suck and kiss on each other and praise each other more than they even do their man or men. So you see more women online kissing on each other. You see more affection between women than you do women and men. And you see them on licking each other down and tonguing each other and grabbing each other and all that shit online, but you don't really see too much. Most women trying to hide their relationship and hide their man and shit and all that or whatever. So so shout out to Tangy, man. Some of y'all, I can't remember how. Did she go to Elsie? I think she went to Ollie. She went to Ollie with me for sure. I can't remember. I think she did go to Elsie. Because we got Elsie and Hastings sit right next to each other. That's the two biggest high schools in the district where I'm from. Man, where's my damn... This thing, I put this right here. This ain't working right now. But try to keep my little cape on. But anyway, but she went to Ollie with us for sure. Ollie sits on a street called Boom Road. Boom is what the energy that I had to bring back to this planet, or I had to bring. See, the reason people are already waking up, but I had to do the Neo thing and astral travel to the sun. Go through the back of the sun, bring the energy back out through the front, like a sun ray, and hit the earth. Bring that the energy back to the earth, so that we can have a mass awakening. That's why when I say I'm the one, I can tell you that confidently because I did the work. I seen it. I can show you that. I can show you. You put the movie Matrix on, and I can show you where it's at and all that. So it's real spill. But the street is called Boom Road. Get a book called The Hero of 1,000 Faces. I probably got it under. I'll find it next segment. By Joseph Campbell. Either Hero of 1,000 Faces. I think the Hero of 1,000 Faces by Joseph Campbell. It speaks on that. But there's many different versions of it. The Matrix is just a movie version of the theatrical presentation of it, but it's many different versions of what I did. It was there's many different versions of the prophecy that was I fulfilled through that. That I fulfilled in 2017. But when we go back to the lifting, you said the veil. So this would be the veil. Each one of those chakras go through there, and the shield comes off, and the light shoots into its orbit. Then you got the, and then let's see better with this. The third one, the blue chakra, just like the earth is blue. They first all shoot out, and then when the earth finally shoots off, it lands where the blue chakra was sitting at. So the blue chakra would line up with where the whole blue kachina things come from. So when the earth finally shoots off into its orbit, and it's imperative that you niggas stop. Tell y'all niggas some real shit. Just get off the dairy food. They gotta find some alternatives, man. Like I said, they got almond milk, oat milk. Dairy is no good. That's damn near like that's what you might as well. You can. It ain't as. It might not be as poisonous as pork, but it is definitely. Man, bro, I am so livid. But it's imperative that you do that. I'm gonna tell you why. Hopefully I can remember. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So and this is where the red, white, and blue of the American flag comes from. Or red, yellow, and blue. The white just represents the light. When all this pushes up to the point to where this is sitting right here, and finna blow off it's called blowing off the barge. When it blows off, the root chakra opens up, and the red bloodline goes right there. Then you got the white light of the sun, which would be so you had that red stream going through while the earth is traveling to land right here. While the earth is traveling while the earth is traveling to there, you had that red line, that red blood splashing, putting the finishing touches on creation. So by the time it gets right here, everything will be fully completed. That's called the completed man, or the perfected man, or the perfected agent. And then of course the blue. So you got the red from the root chakra, the blue from the earth, the water, the chakra, and then the white or the yellow light or whatever. So that's what that's why the red, white, and blue. This is of significance. Words of Apollo Creed, baby. So that's one thing with the veil. That's the lifting of the veil. The veil is means to veil something means to hide, hidden. The underworld is the hidden aspect of the earth. Now, take another further. Veil, or VALE, or valley. This is death. I was telling you the other day. Death doesn't just mean leaving the body in a physical death. Death could be death. You die when you go to sleep every night and wake up. The sun dies when it goes beneath the horizon, setting, and then it raises up in the morning as a rebirth. So you see the resurrection every morning when the sun rises. This is the underworld. It's the land of Osiris, the land of death. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall feel no evil. This is evil, the beginning star. This is the valley. The valley is a narrow strip between two highlands, right? So this is by definition, this is a valley, right? So when we talk about rock and roll is just music, period. It's relegated, so the hell with that guy talking about. If it wasn't for black people and the people that synonymous with hip hop, you wouldn't have a fucking rock and roll. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be no rock and roll. The rock is the earth. The roll is the spinning of the earth on its axis, rolling, and the roll that it takes around the solar system, as well as the sun, rolling around the center of the universe, which is Sirius, star system Sirius. Each chakra corresponds to an octave on the musical tone. On a musical scale. So each one of these would be a certain tone. That's where the whole me, ma, and all that shit come from. So this is the valley. These are tones. The valley in tones, or the valley of tones. Valley, VALE, and time. Take the I, put an O right there, you have tone. Put a U right there, you got tune. Get it? Put an A and be tame. And that's another thing. We just dealing with the valley of tones, the valley in tones. Valley of tones. This is a valley of tones. Each one of these, the sun is playing flute, play your flute. This is the sun playing the flute. When all these go up, each one of these is the sun hitting a certain musical tone or octave. Valley of tones. All right, so yeah. Now, let's get back into some of this baby girl energy. Well, while we sitting here, while we talking about I'm gonna tell another story. That's it's crazy because she wanted to do a song with Corn. A couple videos back, I was eating some popcorn while I was doing this video, and a piece of crumb of the popcorn fell, and landed right on her left, on her right eye, right. Now that's key because you remember she used to have it fell on me right here is on my left, but in the picture it would technically be her right eye, but the piece of corn fell on my eye. So, which is interesting because she wanted to do a song with Corn. She was in the Rock. And I ain't gonna lie, one song that been moving me lately is a rock song. One song that just get me to dance and moving and shit is Rock the Casbah. I don't know these guys. I just really pointed out. Well, I came in contact with the song probably about 6 or 7 years ago, about 5, 6 years ago. I don't know nothing about them. Don't, we have to do that. See, that's a crazy point of life. It's like by black people not being racist like that. And due to racism, I damn near be feeling like when I speak about white groups that I like or things that were contributed to the arts by white people, I always feel like I gotta say, I hope they're not racist, because you just know that wild shit just based off the Hulk Hogan shit. Big Hulk Hogan fan growing up, grew up, found out he was racist. So it's like, it's a thing that racism just fucks everything up. So I don't know what they are, but so I don't want y'all to. But the group, I just try to think I'm lining up with, I don't know their ideology or nothing, because they got the video, got some, they got the Sheik and the rabbi and all that shit, and but I understand what the song is saying. Basically speaking about religion, or it's basically, the song is basically speaking about the religious wars on secular music. If you listen to it, they said, by order of the prophet, we ban that Casbah sound. Now, basically what he said is, the prophet, he's saying the prophet because it's representing religion or whatever. But actually the real deal prophet, see what I'm saying, the real spiritual men actually get down with the secular of the shit. So the Casbah would represent what we do. Now if I could put myself as the prophet, if ever it was some shit I would be against, it would be the drill shit, because not knocking Chicago or no shit like that, but the whole point of this shit is to, and this is a spiritual thing too, because the one thing about spirituality is, take somebody to cut you off when you roll raging. Now your mind, you might want to slap them 1,000,000 times, and that's cool because it's your mind. You can think what you want to think in your mind, but the object of the game is to try to build enough peace to just let the shit go to your best of your ability. Even when people talk shit or whatever, or I just say sticks and stones break bones, but words will never hurt you and shit like that. That's the thing. Sometimes we all fall short at times. So a motherfucker might say the wrong thing, and might set you off with his best, trying to be like the old wise kung fu master that's unmoved to a certain degree. Don't let that motherfucker spit in your face or some shit. I don't think I think that calls for, because for one, that's physical contact. They might not be touching you, but now once a motherfucker touch you, now you see, that's the thing with Martin Luther King fuckers up at, with the turn of the cheek. That was like one of the things we had a problem with Martin, the whole turn of the cheek thing, because that was the reason that they had him pushing that agenda, was to make us more docile and easier to abuse. No, motherfucker touch you, you defend yourself. Now you got enough. Like I said, when the girl slapped, that one day that girl slapped me, I slapped her back without even trying. It was just like when you go to the doctor, they hit your knee go up. Same thing. She slapped me, my hand just pop. It goes to show you it's an exchange of energy. Doing others as you want done to you. I didn't think about it. I was surprised myself. I was like, damn. Because usually that was a subconscious or involuntary reflex. Because the voluntary me would have been like, hey man, just by her being a girl, I'd be like, I'd have probably like, hey, chill out, man. Don't do that no more. And she would slap me again, all bets is off. So, but So that, and the reason I'm saying that is because this shit has went from, the arts is about, that's why niggas used to, you go back into our history, we had shit where we would, instead of actually physical fighting, we would compete through dance and through singing and through the arts. And we would channel that energy through there. Go watch Beat Street and all that shit. Breaking. Shit, Stomp the Yard. Which is a good one, Stomp the Yard. I want to say the Last Dance. I think I'm getting that movie mixed up with something. Snook from Red Hawk, and don't you forget it. That's the only part I remember from that goddamn movie. It was Snook, and don't you forget it. But a little swirl action. Swirling niggas. For you swirly niggas out there. I think is that the movie? I think that is what the movie I'm thinking about with the dark skinned dude and the white girl. I can't remember. But I think it is. But yeah, that's what those. These niggas that took it to that, you gotta rap about the shit and actually go do the shit. It's like, come on, man. It's getting too out of control. That's out of control, man. That's dumb. Let's cut the bullshit. So I would be a guy. Cause I was looking at, I posted on my Instagram, and I was like, well, actually, I'm not against the Cosball sound, because the Cosball, when they said rock the Cosball, they talking about rock the Cosball, because rock and roll was considered, and I would assume that's what this song was representative of, because the Orthodox religion used to attack rock and roll and saying it was, or just used to attack our shit called the jungle music and heathen music, and so that's how they try to take the shit that they don't like, wrap you up in a religious motif, get you to believe in that wholeheartedly, and then anything they want to ban after that, they just tell you so they make you a Christian, and they don't want you to do rap music. They'll say rap is the devil's music, it's evil, whatever's evil, and whatever's considered evil within that religion, they'll wrap up whatever they don't like outside of that in that, and then turn you against it that way. So when they say rock, I understand what they say when they say rock the cop. That's why I love this. Rock the cop, rock the, that's my shit. Come on. I think Biggie connected to that song. Because I don't know, for some reason, every time I hear it, and a lot of rock songs, it just reminds me of some Saturday in New York type shit. I don't know why. But that's where rock and roll comes from, the Valley of Tones. Valley and Tone, that's what this shit is. The Valley of Tones is this. And actually the rainbow, the chakra system within us will be like the hidden rainbow. I just did this for teaching purposes. But as we know, it's gonna be so hard keeping up this shit. I mean, just having all this shit, man. That's the crazy part about it. I mean, just having some shit, and then this shit that doesn't make no fucking sense with this shit. I just had this thing, man. Oh, there we go. Yeah, but when you're doing that 10 thing, when you're doing the calculations, you have to go back to before they added the 5. For one, you have to count 30 days in February, because that's bullshit too. I don't know, they took days, and that's bullshit. Every day is supposed to be at least 30 days. Well, at least 30 days. And then that's the 360. And then we just added 5 more days dedicated to the gods. So, but each month used to be 30 days, so the 28 days is bullshit. I know, nobody was like, well, it kind of lines up with 28 days of the moon cycle. It's like, yeah, well, that's bullshit. When you go back to our original, just like I was telling y'all too, the APAP thing. APAP, raw throwing over APAP is the good thing. And raw throwing over APAP or Harakuli, Horace Harakuli, Raharakuli, throwing over APAP is, if you don't want to throw over APAP, you want to be a goddamn, you want to be thirsty and angry, because, or Snickers got it right with that shit when they said you ain't yourself when you're hungry. I've been fucked up a couple, that's why you see me on some raw shit lately, rugged talking shit. I've been hungry as fuck, thirsty, ain't got enough water and food right now. So I tried the Cash App thing, ain't nobody fuck with me, so I don't even check that shit no more. But she represents, I got the documents on the shit too, so we don't got my boy. I think he was doing a little pandering too, though. I think he was doing a little bit. Nah, but what it is, what he did was, we know that that he got caught up in the fact that when the white man took over, misogynism hit hard. So he kind of had a little imbalance too, because he met that. That used to be one of the things he taught on big. Is like the lack of the woman presence in these these Orthodox religions or whatever. And when the white man took over, he did suppress the feminine energy. So I think Bobby got a little too carried away with. This is the thing when they tell you Jesus had to sit down with and school the elders. This is one of them moments. But no, APAP is this is the over APAP was when this shit was going on. When all that light, when the earth is finally physically formed all the way, well, physically formed, but not complete. When all that goes up in the hill, it leaves all this barren, dry, no light, no water. The moon is water, but it's frozen. Can't drink frozen water. So that's APAP. Then it's depressions or openings from all the carving going on in the but anyway, the surface would have carvings in it. So it'd be like a dragon's mouth. That's APAP the dragon. That's why the sun has to come through here, melt the water. When the sun falls down like this here, the heat from the sun mixed with the ice of the sun brings down water this way. And then this is why you get Candyman says sweets of the sweets, or sweat. You take that second E and put an A right there, that's sweat. The water from the melanin precipitated when these seven were being lightened, going up. The moon was created by waters that precipitated from out of the melanin and causing that dome. So those waters went up. The melanin that was coming downhill, the moisture that was in the melanin, trapped in the melanin downhill, sweat, it came out in the form of sweat. Same way you would perspire, the water came out and sweated onto the top of the melanin. Plus you had Patar cutting the tunnels, cutting all the different tunnels under the world. That's where the well water comes from, all those tunnels. So the water would sweat out from the melanin and drip into the tunnels, and then that's where the well water comes from, spring water and stuff like that. But that's APAP. So when they say overthrows APAP, it comes down here, Earth pushes up, and then it blows off the top, or it's thrown over the shoulder of the sun into its orbit, and the water busts out from the springs or whatever, and drowns APAP and drowns drought and brings forth water, quenches the thirst, nourishes the water with the sunlight mixed with the water, provides the nourishment to the plant life so that we can eat plants and nourish ourselves, and eat the animals can graze on the land and all that good stuff. That's the overthrow of APAP coming out of winter. Winter being representing drought because of the lack of light, or the light not being as potent as it was, or as it is when the sun is above the earth, or in more of a northerly position in regards to the earth. So Bobby done got that wrong. I'm sorry, man. Love you, baby. We got to do some trials and errors here, but that's just between Bobby and the other niggas I was telling you about. I sit down and tell Bobby some shit like this. He's not. He's of a real scholarly mind. So the other guys, they just, oh yeah, I don't believe you, and they'll just debate you for the sake of debate. Even if they believe in your heart, even if you prove it right to them, and they really get it, they'll still just to save face debate you against the shit. Like I said, there's one nigga talking about the sun. I don't know if that was trying to get at me or what, because it was around the time after I did this. And he said the sun is not at the center of the solar system. The sun, he's backwards. For one, if that's the case, just like the sun sits at the seat of the soul, which is the heart, or the soul sits at the center. The soul and the sun is one and the same. The sun is the soul of the universe. Just like the soul is to the universe, the sun is to the universe, what your soul is to your physical body. Your soul sits at the heart. That's why they weigh the heart. That's what the wind in the heart thing represents. The soul has to be light as a feather because the soul is a speck of light, a mustard seed. That's why they say you have to have the faith of a mustard seed. Basically meaning you have to have the mustard seed, the little gold dot. Your soul is a quantum existence. That's what the whole Ant-Man thing and all that shit is about. So, that's what, that's why women have to be careful, because by you being predominantly of the feminine aspect, you draw in more. Therefore, you can, that can lead to greed. You have an imbalance in your root chakra, that can lead to greed. And you can be like this, and everybody outside be like, you want all the toys, you want all the glory, you want all the men, or you want all the niggas, you want all the girls. I gotta have them all. I gotta have all the glory. I gotta be the only one. No, you can't say he lied too. I gotta be the only loud niggas. We ain't just men, women. We show you how it manifested men too. I gotta be the only best rapper. There can't be anybody better than me. Now mind you ask me who's the best rapper, I'm gonna tell you me. And but every rapper's supposed to feel like they're the best. That's what keeps everybody on top of their game, because that keeps you having to show and prove. And so if somebody else come good, you be like, okay, well, I'm the best nigga, so I gotta top that. That'll make you do something better than that. They go back and forth, and he might be feel like he the best, so he gotta try to top you, and that keeps this shit going up. That's why this shit, when you riddle this shit down to just who got the most money, and niggas they don't care about who raps the best no more, or who sing well. R&B is a little different. They're not worried about who raps the best no more. Now it's all about who got the most money. So the art sacrifices, so the art suffers, because now the competition is, well, nigga, I got more ice than you. I got 40 chains. Well, I got 100 of them. We both can't rap, but it don't matter because I got 100 chains. So the people that's coming up following us, they're not imitating, because the youth always, when you rapping or when you of the arts, you understand when you put on that world stage, you made it popular, you breed a new form of music, because you're gonna have people that come up under you their journey into creating music is going to be imitating your shit until they can grow into their own. Just like kids imitate their parents till they grow into their own. So if you pumping bullshit and you ain't putting if you're not putting no emphasis on the actual skill set of the art, then you are setting up, for one, you telling the youth the skill don't matter. Two, they imitating the shit you doing, which is trash. So this shit gonna be trash. And I ain't talking about all the youngsters, because there's some niggas out there, say no names, but the niggas I listened to the other day, I was like, that nigga that hard. Like, niggas up. But I like them little niggas, like I say, TK and Cash, they kind of came and went. And they was kind of like a rendition of Ray Schmurman. Now I like them little niggas there. I love them little niggas there. Them young niggas like to swing. Them little niggas is hard, man. Hard. When I say hard. Pause. Them be hard. Them little niggas is raw. Them niggas create. But see, it's like the good shit. Them niggas supposed to be still the music industry was. We can't even. Who's number one and shit now don't even matter because this shit was on the down. This shit been on. People just now real. I've been seeing it 10 years, about 10 years ago. But this shit, I seen this shit falling. The music industry itself was falling. I've been seeing it, so it don't even matter. Well, I'm being best right now. It don't even matter. We got bigger shit. There's bigger shit on the table right now. You be worried about some fucking who's the best rapper and shit. As I say, you get eating niggas and shit. So maybe we can get back to that once we can figure this other dumb shit out. But so yeah, the Valentine, that's where Valentine come from. So winter, that's why I say Candyman is Osiris, the underworld. That's why she say sweets of the sweets of the sweets. When they killed him, because if you don't know the story, he got caught with a white woman in slavery days. They smeared honey over him, chopped his hand off, and that's where the bees come from. Bees are sacred to Osiris. I remember seeing my mother. I remember when I was in 2017, I was in my auntie's house. I remember I stepped outside one day. That's how I know I'm the real deal. I already knew, but spirit be showing me. And nigga, bees just came around me and was swarming me. They wasn't attacking me though, but they were just a group of bees just came around me and was just swarming me. I was like, this shit is ill. I'm really that nigga. I'm really that nigga. And then a couple weeks after that, or a couple days after that, I had left. But that was with my brother or something. We came back to the house. My mama was sitting on the porch with a black and gold, with a shirt on. It looked like a bumblebee, had black and gold stripes on it. I said, ain't that a bitch? It's really jumping off. Shout out to Mama Love. But, that's where that thing comes from, sweets of the sweet. Even when you go to get juice, when Q go get that pistol from he had to go see Sweets. Even that shit, the scene is grungy. You see, it's like an underground, sketchy type of scene. It's dark, a dark club or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But shout out to my homegirl Tangy, man. Like I said, man, we lost a lot of people we didn't have to lose. It just what they had to do. You might have a pain in your side. Like I said, that's how they killed my cousin. My brother said he felt a pain in his side. He went to the doctor. They gave him a shot, and he died after that. Now, this guy, so we would dedicate this to him too, my nigga Mike Mundy. And I know this to be true because I know what it was. He just needed to stop smoking Black and Milds because I was smoking Black. I used to smoke Black and Milds too. Well, really, I started around 2017, around the same time. That's when I started back. I never really went hard on him like that until then. You know, we had a little phase back when I was like in the 6th or 7th grade. Then I'm more of just a weed man. If I got weed around, most of the time I'm smoking tobacco. I'm just smoking that shit because I ain't got no grass or whatever. Most of the time I got grass. Now if I'm really getting lit, you know, I'm on one. I'm drinking a little liquor and you know, I smoke some tobacco then. But like just on a regular basis, I just pretty much smoke weed or whatever. You know, that's when I'm rolling, that's when I smoke a little. I like to smoke tobacco or whatever. But now when I started smoking in 2017, I started kind of going heavy on because I ain't had no weed or whatever. I was broke and shit, so well, not broke, I was scratched that. I was insufficient in funds, so I was smoking them up. I was kind of heavy. I was having a little bit of bread, but it was sketchy. I was doing a little hustling thing, but that wasn't really working. So a lot of the times I was in lack of bread. So I went hard a couple of years on them. But I always knew I had to quit because that wasn't really my thing anyway. But I used to feel the pain from that shit. I was like, man, I have to get up off this shit. And one of the pains I used to feel was like a little pain in my back. So I finally stopped smoking the motherfuckers all together. I smoked one for the first time in a couple of years in dedication to him. But I think he wanted me to smoke that just so I could see how, because once you, it's one thing to quit, but that, I think he did that just to, he wanted me to smoke one of them just to ensure that I wasn't smoking no more, because I ain't really been having no problem. You know, you smoke a little bit, I smoke tobacco still, like I roll up the guts out the woods or whatever, but I try to smoke the ones that's, I always smoke the leaf. I do flavor leaves every now and then, but I'm even getting out of that just straight up natural, without the smoking the regular kind, or one that doesn't have the chemicals, less chemicals as possible or whatever. But I smoke with that, no problems. Unless I smoke too many. Now if I start going too hard, of course you go too hard, you clog your. I mean, you have to take a break, because you basically just have labored breathing or whatever. But then you ease up off of it and everything go back to normal, because your body regenerates itself. Just like you get a cut on your arm, that cut is gonna heal eventually. Same thing with your insides or whatever. Until you start going to the doctor and they start cutting on you and all this shit. That's where the problems really be coming from. But use this at your own discernment. I ain't something happen you feel like, but my best advice to you would be, when you start feeling something wrong with your body, try to identify what you've been put in your body at the time or whatever, and this is so, change your diet up, or change up something you're doing, and watch the shit go away. Like I said, I had that same pain in my side. I knew what it was. So when he told, if I would have been able to talk to my cousin before he went to the doctor, all I would have told him, I say, man, that ain't nothing. Just stop smoking the Black and Miles, you'll be all right. Because when I stopped smoking the Black and Miles, I didn't have that pain no more. I don't have no pains and shit like that no more. That shit is, whatever them put in that shit is heavyweight, because you do be feeling shit or whatever. Now I smoke now, I be all right. I smoke too many, that's how I get a little labored breathing or something. But other than that, I be straight. That's why you hear shit about niggas smoke cigarettes all the way until they 80 and 90, we having no problems. You don't have no problems until you go to the doctor. They start fucking with you. But yeah, that pain that he was feeling inside, I had that same pain. It went away once I stopped smoking Black and Miles, because my body healed itself. But I smoked one, like I said, a couple months ago, and all that shit came back. I said, yep, I was right. Never again. Shit came back for about a good week. Stop. I ain't smoking no more. Shit went away. No problems. Same thing like with my mother. She had stomach problems. All she had to do was stop eating beef, because beef is harder to break down, or lay off the beef or whatever. And really, beef is one of the hardest things to break down. It ain't as bad as pork. Pork is just poisonous, period. Beef isn't necessarily poisonous. Beef is just the texture of the meat is so hard to break down, it puts a strain on the stomach. So you start feeling these pains, when you start feeling your stomach like it's knotting up, they'll say that's ulcers or whatever. But instead of telling you to, see what they do, they want to keep you coming in. So instead of just telling you, hey, stop eating beef and that'll go away, or lighten up on the beef and that'll go away, they tell you, oh, you got this, take that, take this, oh, you might have to do surgery, and then they get the fuck with your stomach, and they killing us, man. That's the new way. It ain't taking niggas to the, where you still see some really old hillbilly motherfuckers tobacco chewing crackers, hanging motherfuckers up and shit like that. But the new killing fields is the fucking shit like the hospitals. Legally killing you. Oh, you got this. And killing you slowly and experimenting on you. Well, let's tell them, we got this new drug over here. Let's tell them that this will help his migraines, but let's then take blood tests and see how it affects them, and then tell them that don't work, and give them this and see how that works on them. So it's like guinea pigs. I don't fuck with them. Hamburger. That was a chance. Well, I already knew that, but when Ronaldo Ray came through, one day I was chopping it up with him, and I started thinking about the comedian Hamburger. I started thinking about my mama, And then I start thinking about how really they fucked over because the reason why she was having ulcers and stomach pain was because she was eating too much beef. I had them too. Stop eating beef. I don't have the knots.